Now that we're familiar with the pieces of an expression or an equation, let's try to solve for an unknown quantity. We have these unknown quantities that are represented by variables. So let's look at a pretty simple equation right now. 2x is equal to 8. Now I know that most of you can probably look at this and say, oh, okay, well 2x is equal to 8. That means that x must be 4. Okay, but there's going to be some more difficult equations that we will get into, and we need to know the steps for solving these. So we need to try to isolate this variable completely. Okay, we're pretty close right now, but it still has a coefficient of 2. And this says 2 times x. We need to do the opposite operation of what this 2 is doing to x. This is timesing x by 2. So in order to get rid of that, we would need to divide this term by 2. And whatever you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other side of the equation. We do this, 2 over 2 is equal to 1, so that will leave us 1x, which is what we want to know the value of. And 8 divided by 2 will give us 4. So x equals 4. Now let's take this a step further. We're not always just going to have a coefficient variable equal to a value. Sometimes we're going to have to do a little bit more work. So let's imagine that we had 2x plus 5 equals 13. Some of you may still be able to pick out exactly the value of x, but this should be a little bit more difficult for us. But it's just not that hard to do if you break it down step by step. We still need to isolate the variable, but now there's two pieces of the puzzle here we've got to get rid of. We still have the leading coefficient of 2, which is multiplied by x, but we also have this constant on this side. So before we deal with getting rid of the coefficients, we need to get rid of the constant on this side. So this is a positive 5. If I want to get rid of a positive 5, I need to subtract 5, because that will leave me 2x and 0. Now, whatever you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other. So I must also subtract 5 from this side. 13 minus 5 will give me 8. And now you'll see we're back to the problem that we just did. It has a coefficient of 2. This coefficient being multiplied by x. Therefore, to get rid of it, I need to divide by 2. Divide by 2. X equals 4.